Try before we die with a bearded man and a British guy.
These guys are telling us it's time to roll.
Is it again?
It is. Hey, Malcolm.
Hey,
Welcome
Cole,
back to the
up?
bar.
Good to be back again.
Try Before We Die here at the bitter end, a whiskey bar in scenic southwestern New Hampshire where we try to pick a bottle. We don't really try. We let the magic box pick a bottle out of the 400 bottles of whiskey here randomly. And what do we do with that bottle, Mal?
We will give you the most honest opinion that we can give you without being over the top.
What do we do before we do that? We open it no matter what it is, whether it's rare or at the store still today. That's what makes us unique. Ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Tonight we're going to open bottle number
50.
50.
No, 218.
Mal had his eye on bottle 50. It was a rare one. It's bottle 218. And that's going to bring us to, I believe, the snooker room. We'll see everybody over there. All right, we're in the snooker room for our bottle pull. If I recall correctly, which I hope I do, it was 218. We're at 216 on the way into the snooker room, so this is going to be easy for me. 17, 18. That brings us to a Speyside. So Malcolm should be excited. And actually, our sound engineer and editor should also be excited because it's a rum cask finish. A Speyside. And it's the Glenlivet, the Caribbean Reserve. This is a no-age statement from Glenlivet. They're noting sweet and tropical notes, seductively finished in barrels that held Caribbean rum. It'd be odd if it said seductively finished in barrels that held Canadian rum. So I'm glad it's Caribbean rum. We'll see everybody back at the bar for this Speyside release from Glenlivet. Hey, Matt.
Yes.
If I was a seafaring fellow from back in the day, what kind of seafaring fellow might I be?
Pirate.
What's a pirate like to drink?
What's a pirate like to drink?
Yeah.
Rum.
Ho, ho, ho. Did you hear what we got?
I did.
We got a Glenlivet, a Speyside, your favorite.
Yep.
We got the Caribbean Reserve, seductively finished in barrels that held Caribbean rum. We have a no-age statement from this distillery.
Yep.
Well, I get to opening this again. Commonly available, still in production, but even if it wasn't, we'd still be opening it. Anything about Glenlivet?
So I didn't find our bottle, obviously, because I think that's a newer release,
It's
right?
a newer release.
And these are older books back when Scotch was old. But I will say there's two things I want to bring up. One, there's a great line, the Glenlivet. Region, the Highlands, but it's a Speyside.
Right.
What Grand Champagne is to cognac, the Glen of the River Livet is the Speyside.
I like what Mal just informed us of. There's a lot of Glens in the Scotch whiskey world. And Glenlivet takes its name from the River Livet.
Yes.
Excellent.
And just to go over the house style, flowery, fruity, peachy aperitif. So something that's going to be light about this.
Yeah. Well, this has not been here that long because this is a newer release from the distillery, but let's see what this cork gives us. Not a baritone, but maybe an alto. What do you have?
Lively.
Lively. Lively. Consider me surprised.
It was lively.
There's your pour. Remember how I said I like to count the pours?
Yeah.
How's that look?
That looks fair.
Did I do all right?
You are getting better. I'm going to give you that. I don't know what this two-finger business is, but it seems to be working for you.
All right, well, we've got it breathing. So, Glenlivet. So this bottle, purchased in New Hampshire, nothing spectacular about its origin to be here in the bar. But Glenlivet is like one of those houses of whiskey production.
Great house.
Right. That you will go into almost any bar on this planet that is allowed to sell liquor, not just a beer house.
Yep.
And you will find almost guaranteed 2 distilleries in every bar in this world. A Glenlivet and a Glenfiddich. So Glenlivet is just one of these houses of distillation that is just globally known. Everybody's heard of Glenlivet.
Yep.
And my understanding is that the rum finish here, Balvenie has done a rum casking, a 14 year, so this is a no age statement. Balvenie has done one. Springbank has done one. In fact, I picked up a bottle of Springbank's rum finish back in 2008 in England. So these rum finishes have been around for a while. Glenlivet has got on board and said, they don't seem to have been going anywhere, and they've released their own version of a rum finish. I've not had this, have you?
Nope.
Right, even though you see it every time you're in a liquor store in this state. Any other thoughts? Anything you want to quiz me on right now before we move into our next stage?
No, I think, again, I guess just for our viewers, is this a distillery that you have been to?
I have not been to Glenlivet. I spent my time pursuing distilleries off the beaten path. A little less well known, perhaps, at least to me. Of course, always having heard of the Glenlivet, and especially the Glenlivet 12.
Yes.
Right, just
which is world famous.
World renowned, right? And I've come to ask you about, like, you want to quiz me because you'll recall that when we did the Japanese whiskey, you really put me on the spot with, like, what distillery is this from? If it was from a distillery in Scotland.
Oh, yes.
And I think I.
Yep,
did okay on that.
You did
one.
okay.
All right. So the Glenlivet, no age statement, Caribbean Reserve, finished in Caribbean rum casks. What have you got for a color?
I would say it's probably a light to medium amber.
It absolutely has to be a light amber in my mind, if not a golden, a light gold. I think the bottle with the red labeling on it betrays some of the lightness as it reflects in the bottle, but in the glass, this is a light amber, if not a gold. My opinion.
And this is extremely viscous. There is like nothing left when you.
It's all hanging together.
It just comes right down.
Just sheets down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think you even see the sheet.
I'm all excited about creating this tempest in here. Woo! Like a pirate. Yo ho ho. In a bottle of Caribbean rum cast finished Scotch whiskey. That's how the rhyme goes, right?
Yeah, sure it does.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Nosing. Woo!
Ooh, yeah.
And it hangs in there too. Got to come back. Doesn't die off. It loses a little potency, but it still maintains its.
Yeah, that.
So maybe we have like a right hook to start, but we're still coming in with some uppercuts, some really powerful jabs. It's not fading off into. I'm not sure what the finish is. Right? It's maintaining its strength.
Yeah, you can clear your sinuses out sniffing this pretty hard.
Speaking of clearing our sinuses. So it looks like I picked this up, or this was bottled in March of 2020.
Oh, okay.
So we got a couple years under our belts here. We are at 40% ABV. If you know your Scotch whiskey or you've been with us for a while, we know that that's the minimum ABV for a Scotch whiskey to be bottled and labeled a Scotch whiskey. The single malt from Glenlivet, the Caribbean rum finish. We're in agreement that it's either a gold or a light amber color. It's a potent nose.
Yeah, and like something like.
Which betrays the 40% ABV.
Yes, but it's like got some sort of like candied watermelon. Some sort of like right at the very end. It's like something you get from the candies, just like the sweets and stuff like that.
It's a lighter fruit, like because a watermelon is it's mostly water, right? It's a very light fruit versus a heavy fruit like an apricot.
It smells good though.
Well, I will say this: Color is an important feature. Nosing is an important feature. But the most important feature is
the taste.
the tasting. So why don't we get after it? The Caribbean Reserve, Glenlivet, 40% ABV, no age statement. Purchased or at least bottled in 2020. It has been here for a couple years. Let's see what it goes. Cheers. Your viscosity, it entered my mouth and it immediately just rolled right back to my throat. It was like, oh, we're not hanging around up front on the tongue. We're going back into the gullet.
No, that's like drinking water.
It went back fast.
But again,
So I got to do it again.
yeah, go ahead. But again, I get that. Oh, you do get some of the rum.
The second round, I'm after the rum.
Because now I'm just starting to slap my tongue back and forth to the top of my mouth. Now you get the rum. It's there.
It's not terribly burny.
Nope.
It's not. Oh. All right, so Colin, I'm not going to focus on what it isn't, but I'm going to focus on more what it is. There's something candied in there.
Yep.
There's something candied fruit. It's not a rich, deep fruit. It's a light fruit. I don't know that I'm going to go with your watermelon, but I may go with... Is there something lightly caramelized in here? Of course, that's a cop-out easy thing to think about when it's rum, but it feels... Maybe there's something caramelly in here.
I almost want to say... cherry.
Oh, interesting.
There's something there that just seems to be... You know when you have like a hard candy, a lozenge, and you have in your mouth for a while and it just stays there, and you have that taste, even though you're done with it. That's what this has. There's a taste there that doesn't want to go away.
There's a Blank Brothers cherry cough drops. Berry Brothers, Blank Brothers. I got some of the crew telling me I'm on to something and they know exactly what I'm referencing. I hear you on this thought of a lingering cough drop.
Something.
I liked your word lozenge.
Yeah.
Sometimes you really do come through with the language.
But it has something. It just sits there. There's this. You can pull the rum when you let it just sit, and you just put your mouth and just let it just roll over and take it down, and then it just sits there for a while. All of a sudden you get this rum, but there's this other feeling of like there is something there, like you've sucked on a lozenge. The drink is gone.
Yeah,
but the taste is there.
I can't find the cherry, but I can find this idea of a lozenge, because I'm talking, I'm breathing. There's no single malt Scotch whiskey in my mouth, but the residue,
correct,
is hanging around, and that's what you're talking about,
yes.
right? Right. When you've been homesick and you've just been eating cough drops all day, and you stop and you're like, oh, I should have one. Oh no, I have one. Oh no, I don't have one. Right? Because so much residue is there.
It's still there.
There is residue in my mouth.
And it's very pleasant.
Drink. Right? I'm not complaining.
No.
Yeah.
It's very pleasant.
It Is there anything else on here they want us to know? Sweet and tropical.
Okay.
So that makes me tropical fruit, right? So we have mangoes,
yep.
Right? What else do we have? We have pineapples. What else is a tropical fruit?
Pineapple.
All right.
Pineapple. That may be what I'm tasting.
Yeah.
Because there's definitely something there. And I can still taste it. And it's pleasant.
No, I love this idea of a residue from a cough drop because it is hanging out.
And every time you wet your palate,
it is still there. Yeah.
It's like you put a new one in your mouth and you've let it to dissolve.
Now, I've had some rum finishes before, as noted earlier in the conversation. And this isn't the most potent rum finish I've ever had.
No.
In some ways, this is, in some ways, the lightest rum finish I've had.
Yes.
Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yes.
We have this very light, no age statement whiskey. the candied fruit is there, the tropical candied fruit is there, left over residually from the rum finish. But it is still maintaining this light quality. Though we have this linger in the mouth, we don't have this linger here.
Yeah.
I don't have it here. It's all here, and now and then I'm just reminded, oh, I've just had that rum whiskey. That's
So
right.
to go back on a older episode where I was wrong, this is almost like...
Which one?
I would almost like to say this is like a Bacardi rum.
Oh.
Rather than a Captain Morgan spiced
Right.
rum.
Of course, all Captain Morgan's is spiced. I hope some of you saw that episode where Malcolm was wrong. Just pick an episode.
But that's almost like it's got that Malibu, Bacardi, that type of foo-foo rum.
It's the light daytime at the pool,
Pina colada.
at the beach,
Yeah.
drinking. The sun's beating down on you. You're sweating. Hey, you want a whiskey? Not really. Hey, try this whiskey. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's got all the island qualities.
Yes. That's
But
good
it's
way
a
to put it.
single malt.
Correct.
I agree with you there.
All right.
All right. So we've just had the Glenlivet Caribbean Reserve, no age statement, 40% ABV, Speyside. Of course, all Speysides are Highlands, but not all Highlands are Speysides. From Glenlivet, a renowned house of whiskey production, getting in on the rum finish game. This bottle's from 2020. It's all right.
Actually, you know, I like it. I don't think I could sit and have multiple drinks. But if I wanted something to change things up in the afternoon, even early, say 11
Yeah,
or so, and I
right.
just wanted to have a drink and freaking have something, I would do that.
Right, so I said, hey, you want a rum? I'd be like, I'll have a rum finished whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, as always, we've opened and tasted and reviewed a whiskey unprepared. That should be obvious to everybody that we're not prepared.
No.
Right.
It was good.
Is that a new shirt?
One of a few.
New, right? First time on set with that
Oh,
shirt?
no.
Really?
No. I got like a rotation.
Rotation. That's good. I appreciate your effort, right? That's really good.
I got to get a couple more.
All right. The crew is anxious to show us tonight's toast.
Would you put it with anything?
Oh, excellent question. So if I was going to, so we have some Macallan and Talisker finished chocolate, and we have some Wisconsin cheddar. If I was going to finish this rum whiskey, again, I don't feel like, oh, well, maybe I want to retract that. Let me take a sip. We'll go quick. I would do a chocolate.
I would do the one underneath the top one.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to split one?
Yeah, go.
All right.
Oh, you're not going to split that. God.
I am going to split
Go
that.
ahead.
There you go.
Good job.
There's a line in the middle. It's like a tracing line. That was a good chocolate. Big shout out to Burdick's Chocolate, East Coast and West Coast. We happen to live close to the East Coast operation. Excellent chocolate.
Actually, that works. It sort of makes it into one of those pina colada type of drinks. You got this like mix of like the chocolate and the whiskey is great.
More chocolate, please.
Yeah, that's actually not
Yeah,
bad.
that works well. Yeah. All right, let's see what the crew has prepared for us. I'm gonna read it. Tonight's toast is here's to lobster, tail, and beer. 3 of my favorite things.
Cheers.
Think everybody got it? You know how 3 of my favorite things.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a little bit more of this.
That was rather pleasant. And it definitely has a Caribbean feel to it.
You know what? I appreciate that language of Caribbean feel. It is light. It's refreshing. It's of the islands. It's not complex.
No.
It's not complicated.
Nope.
It's not asking you to think about a lot of different things. But I really am happy we explored their language, the tropical notes,
Yep.
and what fruits come from the tropics. The mangoes, the pineapples. There's got to be another one. What else comes from the tropics?
Apricot.
I don't know. I think apricots actually come from the Mid East,
probably.
but I really don't
Yeah,
know.
you're
No,
probably right.
I think I'm right on that.